Hello. Let's run through the Season 4 trials. Thanks, It's That Boy, for reminding me I said I was going to do that last season. Sure thing, they're fun to talk through. There are 5 new ones, not as cool as last season, and I don't think these are anything too crazy hard. Not like that vacant course where a couple targets were a little tricky to find. These ones ain't bad. Not to brag, but I did 3-star them all on the first ticket. I know, I am the greatest gamer alive. But let's take a look, and later I'll go over my updated findings on the weird, buggy XP problem and how XP tokens and happy hour and whatever else interact with trials. That is an ongoing mystery. Trial 1 is the Azhir cave behind enemy lines. Don't make my mistake and spray away like this like a normal one of these. You'll quickly run out of ammo. Oops, you could go for one-shot kill headshots. Spec Ops rules do apply with these bots, but no need. They give you all these explosives for a reason. There are tons of barrels next to almost every enemy, so just shoot the barrels. In this run, I wasted tons of time reloading that grenade launcher and shooting people instead of the barrels. Still ended up being 3 stars, so don't be too stressed about the time. But alright, I went back in to give a more optimized example of a full run-through. At the start, this guy should peek out every time, so you can put 1 bullet in the barrel there. One time I was right up against the fence, and he didn't come around the corner, so maybe stand back a bit. Then I used the heavy GL to clear these 2 areas. 2 shots for the first area, and 4 shots for the second area, where you see me shooting to hit the main groups of barrels. That can be done very consistently, it doesn't have to be super precise, and then I put that away, I don't bother reloading it. You get one guy on the bridge, a headshot for him, then another guy by himself, you can headshot or use the barrel when he gets there. From here, you can shoot the big pile of barrels back over there. I launched a tube for fun. Make sure to refill your ammo on that crate. Now you don't have to be worried about your M4 ammo with 2 extra mags. That was a dumb tube there, but I find a C4 thrown here can very consistently clear out the second grouping of enemies that don't get hit by the big barrel stack. Always remember to double check on your minimap though to see that the red dots are gone before you move on from an area. Then you turn left to find 2 enemies on the platform. They both have barrels next to them. You could shoot those instead of them, be a bit faster. Into the cave and around this corner, you'll have more barrels to shoot, then a few more people to clean up, and another ammo crate. You really shouldn't need it, but it's there. Up here, don't waste time shooting these guys. Another C4 should do the trick nicely. That C4 didn't come from the ammo crate, by the way. Your equipment is on a very quick restock time, so you really don't need the crate. Around that corner, shoot 1 guy in the opening, then I tried to get fancy in the final section, ended up botching it pretty bad, and needed to go around cleaning up everyone I missed. There are tons of barrels around here, just make sure to not blow yourself up, and you should be good. Over 20 seconds to spare there for the 3-star, and you saw it's not like I was doing anything crazy. I'll also show the end of the previous run, because I think it was a bit cleaner to sit back here and shoot all the barrels in this room. This is nowhere near truly optimized if you wanted to set a record. I only used a couple tickets. I bet maybe you could keep the combat knife from the start to run with, and only take the M4, maybe use more C4, and know exactly which barrels you need to shoot to move on, cut through the building near the end since the ammo box isn't needed. Yeah, have fun with that if you want to spend more tickets to speedrun it, but that should be enough for the 3-star. Trial 2 is a Price's Alley on Crash. This might be the hardest trial because I don't know if controllers get aim assist for these. If not, I could imagine these being annoying. You're not expected to be perfect though. While the targets follow a similar pattern every time with where they pop up, what they are appears to be randomized, which ones are enemies or civilians. So I can't go through every single wave and highlight where all the enemies are. Not that that would even be super helpful, because nobody can memorize all that from watching a video. So it's gonna be mostly up to you and your ability to react and aim. I can only give a few pointers. One, I was standing on this table at first because I thought it was a good vantage point, but not really, because this tree ends up blocking where a couple targets pop up, so I'd say just stand against the edge. If you're too far back, you can miss targets that pop up below you. 2, do be going for headshots whenever you have time. They don't say they give score in the after action report thing, but you can see that they give 150 points instead of 100 when you shoot them, which is a big bonus. So especially in wave 1, when all the targets are right next to each other, you don't need to rush. Use all your time and try to get headshots. Also, there will be several occasions where you can line up a collateral with a target that's moving back and forth. Not a huge deal point-wise for this type of challenge, but that will raise your accuracy and save time. I liked to stay aiming down my sight the whole time. I would just flip to the low zoom to watch everything spawn in, get the mental image of where they are, then if they were far away, I could zoom back in. Sometimes I felt like bullets went straight through targets. That was pretty annoying. Not much you can do about that. Although this other time, I was hitting the helicopter blade. Watch out for that, seems like it does block bullets. Remember to reload between waves, and I don't have much else to say about this trial. It's a fun aim practice. Too bad you can't play these things without tickets. Trial 3 is a good old quad race on Arklov Peak, but this time you also need to be picking up dog tags. I wasn't quite sure how important they were the first time, and I had several screw-ups. On lap 2, you have to react to the tag being moved to the right of the truck, and I wasted time wondering if I should go back and grab it. Nope, it's gone. And then on the final lap, you need to be on the left side of the first truck. Those are the two things you might want to remember to make sure you get all the tags. All the other ones should be easy to react to and drive over. As I learned, they are pretty important to collect. They each cut off a second, and if you get all 30, you get an extra 5 free seconds. So that time was a fail. Let's run it again, and I guess I'll show the full run in case you want to see where everything is. Feel free to skip ahead. Alright, cool. You can see that big time reduction, making the timer not so tight after all. You can take your time to make sure you get every tag. Trial 4 is a new risky parkour with more dog tag collecting instead of the regular point-to-point thing, and this has got to be the easiest trial, as long as you're decent with movement. The timer is super relaxed. This first run I dedicated to just testing what I could do, learning the whole course. I jumped in the gas a couple times, just trying that. Later, I got over here, climbed around in this building to check it out, stopped and waited around here, just thinking about what the most efficient route would be, mantled into the gas again. Okay, not moving fast at all, and oops, back in the gas again, basically wasting time every step of the way. This continued, jumped in the gas again. Yeah, that was atrocious, and yet even with the time I spent in the gas getting doubled as a penalty, that was exactly the time required for 3 stars. So you got time here. I did a second run anyway, of course, so here's a more normal, full run if you want to watch the route. I don't have any commentary for this either, and no thematic music, so I'll read The Fellowship of the Ring. Chapter 1, A Long Expected Party. When Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bag End announced that he would shortly be celebrating his 11th birthday with a party of special magnificence, there was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton. Bilbo was very rich and very peculiar, and had been the wonder of the Shire for 60 years, ever since his remarkable disappearance and unexpected return. The riches he had brought back from his travels had now become a local legend, and it was popularly believed, whatever the old folk might say, that the hill at Bag End was full of tunnels stuffed with treasure. And if that was not enough for fame, there was also his prolonged vigor to marvel at. Time wore on, but it seemed to have little effect on Mr. Baggins. At 90, he was much the same as at 50. At 99, they began to call him well-preserved, but unchanged would have been nearer the mark. There were some that shook their heads and thought this was too much of a good thing. It seemed unfair that anyone should possess apparently perpetual youth, as well as reputedly inexhaustible wealth. It will have to be paid for, they said. It isn't natural, and trouble will come of it. But so far, trouble had not come, and as Mr. Baggins was generous with his money, most people were willing to forgive him his oddities and his good fortune. Oh, thank God, the trial's over. Yeah, that still wasn't perfect. I took my time with the jumps and had a wasted back and forth at the tank, but that's a nice 40 seconds cut off. Easy parkour trial. Alright. The final trial is another risky parkour, but this is a copy of a Season 3 trial, I believe, except in Nightvision mode. This is a pretty normal parkour trial, and you may have already played it. Not much to say about this one either, but I should show the whole thing, so we'll keep reading. He remained on visiting terms with his relatives, except, of course, the Sackville Bagginses, and he had many devoted admirers among the hobbits of poor and unimportant families. But he had no close friends until some of his younger cousins began to grow up. The eldest of these, and Bilbo's favorite, was young Frodo Baggins. When Bilbo was 99, he adopted Frodo as his heir, and brought him to live at Bag End, and the hopes of the Sackville Bagginses were finally dashed. Bilbo and Frodo happened to have the same birthday, September 22nd. "You better come and live here, Frodo my lad," said Bilbo one day, "and then we can celebrate our birthday parties comfortably together." At that time, Frodo was still in his tweens, as the hobbits called the irresponsible 20s, between childhood and coming of age at 33. Alright, there we go. Yeah, I always fail that jump at the end because I run out of jump energy with all those boxes. I ran it again and did the exact same thing, but oh well, you're allowed to make that mistake. It gives you enough time, although not nearly the ludicrous amount of time that you get in the previous one. That's all 5 trials of Season 4. Yeah, definitely not as impressive as the Season 3 trials. If you're only running trials for XP purposes and don't care about 3-starring them all, I stand by saying that the Season 3 shotgun shooting range is the best combination of fast and easy. All you do is pick up the R9 and Origin for max ammo capacity and walk around like this, hip firing between the targets to save on accuracy. You can miss some and need to shoot twice, it's no big deal. At the end, the accuracy bonus should put you well into 3-star territory. Easy stuff. Or if you prefer to parkour, you could run that Season 4 Backlot one we just covered. Now speaking of XP, I said I'd once again look at the mystery of Trials XP in this game, and XP in general for that matter, because people still ask me what's going on with it. In the past, I've always said use a double XP token to double your Trials XP, because that's how it always used to work for me. You get 10k for 3 stars, and when I used a token, I got 20k every time. Then some people said a token plus Clan Happy Hour gives them quad XP, that they can get 40k, or 44k thanks to the 10% boost from owning the Battle Pass. That has never worked for me. I've never gotten higher than double, even with double XP weekend, token, and happy hour. Also, I'm not moving my happy hour or switching between regiments. I was just staying in my regiment. Ever since the Warzone launch, or around that time, XP has been very universally buggy. Here's a list of the XP I got from running these trials. First was during double XP weekend and happy hour with the 10% battle pass boost, but no token yet. And every trial was 3 stars, so 10k is the expected base. Well, I got 0 XP on the first one, and even upon restarting the game, I didn't get anything. Okay, great. Then trial 2 gave me a bit over 11k. Also, the animation seems to suggest that I got 5k something, and that was doubled. Well, that just makes no sense. With no doubling, it should be 11k exactly, with the Battle Pass boost, and then hopefully that would get doubled. Then I popped an XP token, so all buffs are active. The next 3-star trial gave me 16.5k, which is 7,500 times 2 plus the 10%, so it seemed to think I got 2 stars, and then it doubled that. Then I finally got a 22k run, perfect, that is a doubled 3-star trial, amazing, finally. Sorta seems like the token is the only thing that ever actually doubles for me. But then I got 0 again. Cool. Finally, I ran a couple after the XP weekend was over, so this was only token and battle pass. First, I got 22k-ish, because there was a little more added on, which, again, makes no sense. Where would that little bit come from? Then another 0, love to see it, then a perfect 22k, and ending with another 16.5k, a 3-star being treated as 2-star. As you can see, this shit seems straight up random. XP has been so very messed up in every part of the game for a long time now. Even challenge progression too, for that matter, like how kill challenges randomly give you extra, and a lot of ribbon challenges seem to randomly complete themselves, but that's a whole different topic. I swear it was pretty consistent at launch. Now it's gotten pretty bad. I talked about similar stuff a while ago in Warzone, how sometimes you get a 0 XP game, and the XP rarely matches up with what you're actually supposed to get. Then sometimes it seems like you get the XP that you're owed when you restart the game, or it gets dumped on you all at once, and it seems to maybe be worse during busier times when the servers are under more stress, like after a big update and during XP events, as if your XP gets queued up with everyone else's, and it gets clogged up, or even mixed up. I know nothing about their systems, but goddamn, in this case with trials, I can't even say it looks like I got what I was owed in the end. Maybe eventually, when I wasn't paying attention. But it was pretty consistent at launch, and now it feels like I'm being randomly awarded other people's XP, with the 0s, the 2-star, the 3-star, someone's domination game XP maybe. Like, the numbers make no sense, and it's frustrating as someone who wants to understand it. I like knowing that I'm getting the right amount of XP, but I've decided to give up on trying to understand it at this point, because who really cares? I can't figure out any logical pattern. All I know is that you get a decent amount of XP for just playing the game. You rank up just fine. So Play the game and ignore when it seems to give you 0 XP or whatever it says. I give up. Sorry I don't have a better answer on understanding the XP issue. Right now with trials, my best advice is to pop a double XP token and do your trials maybe when you think not as many people are playing. Maybe that'll make it more consistent, or maybe that's crazy talk, but it shouldn't hurt. You can try combining it with Regiment Happy Hour as well, because I have seen that work for some people, it just never has for me. There you have it. I could cover the Season 5 trials too, if people want that. I don't think these things really need guides, but they are pretty fun. Enjoy getting all the 3-star trials, and I hope you actually get XP for them. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.